Technology. I'm Emily Chang in San Francisco. The rise of social media has brought about a marketing transformation. More and more companies are turning to Instagram to reach their audiences and drive sales. A new study from Captive 8 found that brands spent about $2.1 billion on influencer-sponsored posts on Instagram. But it's not all genuine engagement. This study found that on average, more than 11% of the engagement for these posts were generated by fraudulent accounts or bots. Here to discuss, Captive 8 co-founder Krishna Subramanian and our very own Sarah Frier. So, Krishna, what exactly did you find here?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things we realized is brands are spending millions and millions of dollars on Instagram, and they're looking to reach millennials to get that specific engagement because these millennials aren't watching TV. But what they're missing is a lot of bots are coming in here and pretending to generate that activity. That's
not necessarily a huge surprise. I mean, does the number surprise you, 10%?
Yeah, like when you're looking at 10 to 11%, that's almost $250 million that's just wasted by advertisers. So these brands are spending money on Instagram, looking to reach millennials, spending additional money on Facebook, and they're just not getting, it's just wasted money.
So brands don't necessarily realize they're wasting money.
Well, what was really interesting to me about this report was the fact that it's not just the fake followers, which we've all seen on Twitter, and occasionally they get cut off, and then Donald Trump complains, and we've seen that story before. But it's the fake engagement, the fact that bots are commenting and liking and sharing things, and that there are all these inauthentic networks of activity.
So how have brands responded to this?
Brands are really excited because they're looking for data or something from someone outside of Facebook to say, what is my actual ROI? But they're also really cautious about how do we continue to police what's going on. When you look at what happens in the display world, they have platforms like Moat and Double Verify. But when you look at native content, these Instagram posts, you don't have anything from a brand perspective.
Now, the flip side of this is that there was a story in The Atlantic this week about how aspiring influencers are producing fake sponsored content to boost their credibility. Explain what is happening here.
So it's kind of a fake it till you make it mentality, right? People are saying that it's sort of the new reality TV. Everyone's running their own personal brand show online, and having sponsors in there might convince other sponsors to come. So that's what they're doing, and I mean, you see this happening on Instagram all the time, and I've seen these groups on Facebook where people have these follow trains. Well, let's say if you follow me on Instagram, I'll follow you. We can comment on each other's posts. There are the Instagram engagement pods where people say, comment within a minute, and then we can boost ourselves in the algorithm. So there's a lot of ways to game these systems, which then makes it hard to understand how the money's working.
And could certainly undermine Instagram's business model, right? Because it's, now it's Facebook's main hope in terms of the next ad platform. Sarah, what is Instagram doing to combat fake accounts, to combat bots?
So I want to draw a distinction between the influencer marketing that these brands are doing and the way you can buy ads on Instagram. There are some ways to integrate them, but for the most part, they're separate. What Instagram has done is they've tried to get rid of bots, but it's this never-ending battle. It's like getting rid of spam. They'll do a big purge, and then they'll find another way to come back, and then they'll do another big purge, and they'll find another way to come back. And so I think that it's just there's always going to be some percentage of the engagement that's fake. And I was really pretty surprised to hear that it's $250 million.
So, Krishna, we're consistently asking this question: is this bad news going to hurt Facebook? Is it going to hurt Instagram? Are advertisers, sponsors going to take their money elsewhere? We continue to hear that, well, there's nowhere else to put your money.
Exactly.
Do you think brands are going to leave these platforms or just continue on the same path?
I think brands are going to continue on the same path because there's really nowhere else to go. When you're trying to reach that millennial demographic outside of Instagram, where do you really go?
Is there really nowhere else to go?
I mean, there's Twitter, there's Snapchat, there's TikTok, but when you're trying to figure out how to reach people in this kind of aspirational mode, there's really kind of just Instagram and Pinterest. those are the people that are sharing brands in a very native to their own personal desires way. And the way advertising and personal content gets intermixed, the FTC has tried to make rules about this, but people don't follow them.
Gosh, fascinating. This is a fascinating story for 2019. The fake comments and likes, especially upsetting. Okay, Sarah Frier for us, Krishna Subramanian of Captive 8. Thank you so much for stopping by.